Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to view my presentation. Today, I will be walking you through my servant leadership project, which focuses on supporting my school's speech-language pathologist after school hours. This project gave me the chance to serve someone who plays a crucial role in our students' success, especially those with communication needs. I'll explain why I chose this opportunity, what the service looks like in practice, and how the experience connects to Robert Greenleaf's idea about servant leadership. I will also connect the project to T.W. Lewis's Christian philanthropy framework and reflect on the values and beliefs that shaped my experience. My hope is that by the end, you will see how small, intentional acts of service can create meaningful change in a community. I chose to support my SLP because I see firsthand the weight she carries every day. She serves a high-need caseload, including many of my ESC students, and her schedule is packed from the moment she arrives until the moment she leaves. Over time, I noticed that she rarely has time to prepare materials. Things like visuals, communication boards, and practice tools are essential for student progress. There was one afternoon in particular when she mentioned staying late to finish materials for a student who was struggling with expressive language. That moment made me realize how much of her workload happens behind the scenes. It also made me aware of how much pressure she feels to meet every student's needs without enough hours in the day. Supporting her felt like a meaningful way to serve both a colleague and the students we share. It aligned naturally with my values as an educator and with the core idea of servant leadership, which is to identify someone's needs and step in and help without expecting anything in return. This opportunity was not about doing something big, it was about doing something genuinely helpful. My service was very hands-on and practical. I spent 2 afternoons after school, each for about 2 hours, helping her create, laminate, cut, and organize materials. These tasks may seem simple, but they are incredibly time-consuming. For example, one of the materials I helped prepare was a set of communication boards for a student who uses picture-based communication. Each board required printing, laminating, cutting out, and organizing them into a system that the student could use independently. That process alone took over an hour, but it made a huge difference in the student's ability to participate in class. By taking these tasks off her plate, she was able to focus more on planning high-quality therapy sessions and analyzing student progress. This reflects the servant leadership mindset, where leaders support others by removing barriers and helping them operate at their best. Overall, I completed 4 hours of service, but the impact extended far beyond that time. One of the most meaningful parts of this project was seeing how it aligned with Greenleaf's test for servant leadership. Greenleaf asked 3 key questions. Did the person served grow? Did the person become healthier, wiser, freer, or more autonomous? And did the least privileged benefit? In this case, the answer to all 3 is yes. The SLP grew because she gained time, clarity, and reduced stress. She told me that having materials ready ahead of time allowed her to think more clearly about IEP meetings and session plans instead of rushing to prepare. That is a form of growth. She was able to operate more freely and focus on her strengths. She became more autonomous. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the consistent pressure of preparing materials, She had the space to prioritize high-level tasks. And most importantly, the least privileged group, our students with communication challenges, benefited directly. They received better prepared materials and more intentional therapy sessions. This is exactly what Greenleaf envisioned: service that uplifts others and strengthens the community. Throughout this project, I relied on several key servant leadership skills. The first was empathy. I had to really understand what the SLP needed, not what I thought she needed, but what would genuinely lighten her load. That required listening, observing, and recognizing the emotional strain that comes with serving a high-need caseload. The second was stewardship. In a school setting, stewardship means taking responsibility for the shared mission of supporting students. Even though preparing these materials was not technically my job, it was something that contributed to the success of our team and our students. I demonstrated a commitment to growth of people. By helping create tools that supported student communication, I was contributing to their development and giving them better access to learning. Finally, awareness played a big role. I became more aware of how small acts of service can influence the entire system. When one person is supported, the ripple effect reaches students, teachers, and the overall learning environment. These skills reflect the characteristics of servant leadership described by both Greenleaf and Blanchard and Hodges. T. W. Lewis described Christian philanthropy through the 4 W's: wealth, work, wisdom, and witness. Even though I did not give financial wealth, I was given something just as valuable in a school setting: my time and energy. My work was the hands-on support I provided. It was not glamorous, but it was meaningful and necessary. My wisdom came from understanding how service strengthens relationships and improves outcome. I recognized that by helping one colleague, I was indirectly helping many students. And my witness was that I modeled humility, generosity, and service. In the school environment, people notice when someone steps in to help without being asked. That kind of witness can inspire others to serve as well. This framework helped me see that my project was not just an assignment, but an expression of my values and my faith. This project reinforced something that I've always believed: servant leadership is not about authority, it is about influence through service. Leadership rooted in service reflects the examples of Jesus, who led by lifting others up. My personal values of humility, teamwork, and supporting others quietly shaped the way I approached this opportunity. I did not need recognition, I just wanted to help someone who helped so many others. One of my biggest takeaways is that leadership happens in everyday moments. It happens when we choose to serve, when we notice someone's burden and decide to share it, and when we use our time and skills to make someone else's job easier. This project reminded me that small acts of service can create meaningful change, especially in a school community where every minute and every resource matters. These photos show some of the materials I've worked on in the process of preparing them. They represent the behind-the-scenes work that often goes unnoticed but makes a huge difference for students. As I was laminating and cutting, I found myself reflecting on how much time and effort goes into creating tools that help students communicate. It reminds me that every day, that even simple tasks have a profound impact when they support student growth and independence. These images capture the heart of the project: quiet, practical service that supports others in meaningful ways. Thank you for your time.